Buffalo soldier, dreadlock wrestler. He was a buffalo soldier in the war for America. 1.2 million black American soldiers served during World War II. None of them receiving the Medal of Honor. Only 9 received the second highest award, which was the Distinguished Cross. Shades of the Magnificent Seven, that's how many were finally up for review for the Medal of Honor. First Lieutenant Vernon Baker gave the country his best, killed 2 Germans when he stumbled across a machine gun nest, killed a German while he was on the run, killed 2 more with a submachine gun. His white superior officer ordered a withdrawal despite Baker's protests. The same white officer was put in for the Medal of Honor by his commanding 92nd Division, even though he had acted in a cowardly fashion. Stolen from Africa, brought to America, fighting on arrival, fighting for survival. Staff Sergeant Edward Carter, 3 bullets in the leg, 1 in the arm, 1 in the hand. Diving for cover in a bit of a fix, approached by 8 Germans, he managed to kill 6. Capturing 2, he used them as a human shield to make it across 150 yards of open field. I mean it when I analyze the stage. To me it makes a lot of sense how the dreadlock wrestler was a buffalo soldier. First Lieutenant John R. Fox, his observation post, overrun by hundreds of Germans, had to make a very hard decision. He radioed for artillery fire directly on his own position. Lieutenant Zachary had never heard such a suicidal request. Lieutenant John R. Fox gave America his best. Put everything you've got on my OP. He deserved to go down in history. High explosive shells came raining down. Afterwards, his shattered body was retrieved. For him, the Medal of Honor should have been received. If you knew your history, you would know where you're coming from. Then you wouldn't have to ask me, who the heck do I think I am? Willie F. James Jr., scouting ahead, drawing fire, volunteered to move forward another 200 yards, killed when he went to the aid of a platoon leader and shot. This is another unsung hero that America forgot. He was a buffalo soldier, dreadlock wrestler. He was a buffalo soldier in the war for America. Staff Sergeant Reuben Rivers, a German mine blew up his Sherman tank, ripping his right leg open to the bone above the knee. He also deserved to go down in history. He refused morphine injection and evacuation. He was also up for evaluation. Taking command of another tank, an unsung hero that America chose not to thank. He continued to fight even though his commanding officer told him he should leave. A German shell hit his tank and ended his life. Said, why, First Lieutenant Charles L. Thomas, commander of Company C, on top of his armoured M20 scout car, shooting at German infantry, hit several times in the arms, legs and chest. Lieutenant Charles L. Thomas gave America his best, crawling under his scout car, directing the placement and firing of his troops' anti-tank guns. He refused to evacuate until he was certain that all the survivors were well positioned. Only one thought kept going through his head: deploy the guns and start firing, or we're as good as dead. Depicted in comic books in his hometown in Detroit. But when he died in 1980, the local newspapers didn't even print his obituary. Buffalo soldier, trotting through the land, saying the morning rain, make him hold a hand, trotting through the land. Finally, Private George Watson drowned while rescuing others. His ship was sunk by a Japanese bomber. He remained in the water, rescuing those who couldn't swim. History should have remembered him. Exhausted, when the ship went down, he disappeared beneath the waves because he didn't have the strength to pull free of the ship's turbulence. His body was never recovered. So ends the story of the Seven's Magnificents. They were never even considered for the Medal of Honor. The Army Review didn't even begin until 1992. All of these soldiers with great stories, overlooked by the Army's award policies. Something you may never have heard of before: America's black community had to plead for their sons to be sent to war. The Army regarded them as inferior, only to be used reluctantly or in secondary roles. Vietnam War, 239 Medal of Honor recipients, 20 were black. The Korean War, 131 Medal of Honor recipients, 2 were black. World War I, 124 Medal of Honor recipients, 1 was black. The Spanish-American War, 109 Medal of Honor recipients, 6 were black. The Civil War, 1,520 Medal of Honor recipients, 24 were black. World War II, the time period my poem speaks of, 433 Medal of Honor recipients, none were black. It was a buffalo soldier, dreadlock rascal, trotting through someone in the heart of the Caribbean.